A just-released government report provides a revealing look at marriage in America. It finds the state of our unions is basically fragile. Nearly 50% of marriages end within 20 years, and the percentage of people living together has nearly quadrupled, third time's a charm, over the last 3 decades.
Say it 3 times fast, Erica.
Ooh, I'm going to leave that up to Charlie.
Dr. Andrew Cherlin is a sociologist at Johns Hopkins University and the author of The Marriage Go-Round, The State of Marriage and Family in America Today. Hello.
Hello, Gail.
Mr. Cherlin, very good to see you.
Nice to be here.
So I always get concerned when these statistics come out because I've seen reports that say marriage is obsolete. Please tell, or is becoming obsolete. Please tell me that is not the case.
It is not the case. What this report shows is that people are taking longer to marry, but they're getting around to it. By the time they're age 40, most of them get married. But it happens in their late 20s or 30s. What's happened is the place of marriage in our lives has changed. Used to be that marriage was the first step into adulthood. You got married, then you got a job, then you got an apartment. Now it's often the last step, when everything else is done. When your personal life is in order, you celebrate by getting married, but
so
people do.
You establish yourself first, but so you get married, and we do it later. But when we look at that number, that half of marriages are breaking up essentially before they hit the 20-year mark, where does that come from?
I think it comes from the flip side of the great American individualism. You know, we're concerned about ourselves, our personal development. We see marriage in a very personal way. We value it, but if it's not successful in providing us with what we need, we feel justified in leaving it. And we have the highest divorce rate of any wealthy country in the world.
And why is that?
Yes, that's what I'd like to know.
Because we're more...
That's what I'd like to know.
Because we're more...
And I sit here before you as a divorced person. I won't go into the details of what happened with Tyrone the ex and I, not his real name. But I know the reason what happened to me. But why is the divorce rate so high?
Because we're Americans and we think we're justified in having the best personal life we can do. We will move on to new relationships if the first one isn't well.
It almost feels like, and correct me if this is too simple an analogy, but we tend to, because everything's so inexpensive compared to the rest of the world, if something's broke, we go buy a new one. Is that what we do essentially with a relationship, whether it's a marriage or not? If it's broke, we say, I'm not going to fix it, I'll just move on.
The iPhone marriage. But you know, there's a very troubling educational gap here. This report shows that college graduates have twice the likelihood of having their marriage last for 20 years as to people without a high school degree.
And why is that?
Because I think college graduates are the ones who can still get jobs in our transformed economy.
So success in marriage is directly linked to your economic
It's very important. If you don't have that economic foundation, you can have troubles in your marriage. These are the people who can pull 2 jobs together, have decent incomes, make it, and they're having their marriages be much more stable.
And what do we know about the people who are staying in marriage but are terribly unhappy?
There are fewer of them than used to be the case. Back 50 years ago, when divorce was not acceptable, there were lots of marriages like that. Lots of people who stayed together for the sake of their children. I don't think there are as many these days. I think it's more okay to end a relationship, which is one reason why there is so much more divorce here than there used to be.
Is that good or bad for the kids?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think divorce is good for the kids.
But is staying in a bad marriage good for them?
If the marriage is...
We're all at the same time.
Right?
Staying in a bad marriage isn't good either. For the children.
Go ahead.
Bill, did you want to share something?
What you just saw is one of the great moments in this program.
But we don't want you to feel attacked in any way.
I don't.
We have married, we have divorced, we have divorced.
Would you get married again, Charlie?
Yes.
You would?
Yes.
I would too.
Of course.
I would too.
You know,
I so believe in the institution.
But I'm going to be very, very happy if I don't as well.
Yeah, I'm at that place too. I'm at that place too.
You know, if the marriage is bad
Not
enough...
about marriage, it's about a relationship.
That's
Yeah,
true.
if it's bad enough, clearly it's better that the couple separate. But there are a lot of people who get divorced in a situation where it's maybe not terrible, but they're a little bored.
Well, I mean, I think one thing that's interesting about this conversation is the notion that can you make it work if you run onto rough times? I mean, what are the secrets to making a troubled marriage work? It's conversation, is it counseling, whatever it is, because sometimes people can get over humps and find some kind of direction for the future.
You know, it's a combination of some kind of basic security, basic financial security, and some communication, some ability to work out your problems. And so there are interrelational aspects and also there's an economic foundation that needs to be there.
Yeah, we got to figure it out because the Divorce Club is a very big group, and I know there's a lot of nice people in the Divorce Club.
Yes, they are. And you know what they do? They get remarried again. We have more churning, more people going back and forth than any other country.
Yeah. That's what we have to do, Charlie. Churn.
Churn more. Churn.
See, Erica's happily married.
Can you churn?
Yeah.
I'm going to churn in my happy marriage. I'm going to stay in my marriage. Dr. Cherlin,
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, Dr. Cherlin.